Hello everyone. I hope we are doing well on this fine morning, evening, night, midday, whatever time it is for you. It is Resurrection Cup. We are here, codename Genesis, and we have a pretty fun matchup coming up for you here. We have me BOMBO versus Team Auge. Me BOMBO unfortunately losing to be determined, I believe, last week, and Team Auge losing in the first week to Team Bolner, but making their way all the way here still. Pretty solid rosters on both sides. I'm interested to see this matchup between them. I'm one of your commentators, Solve0, and I'm joined by the amazing Bezonoral. How are we doing?
We're doing pretty good. This is an interesting matchup because you look at the players. There's a lot of recognizable faces on both of these teams, and yeah, coming into this match, there's a lot to be proven. As BOMBO finally getting pushed down into the losers bracket, they're finally getting their first taste of what losers bracket in Resurrection Cup feels like, which is absolute total chaos and carnage. While Team Auge are now bouncing, continuously advancing through the losers bracket after last time being pushed to tiebreaker by Waterblep winning that tiebreaker. So we'll see if they can continue on pushing their way through losers bracket here in Resurrection Cup 2026. It is an uphill battle for them because this is a team that has a lot of recognizable names. You look at them and you see the current number one ranked player Nosu Krishina, as well as Maxine, and also really talented players in Og, Tipiko Shane, and Eiki Onizuka. But on the other side is the experienced faces in the tournaments. You see Godzilla, also known as Querum, DRX, the number one Slovakian player, Oli, GX, and Martin Yushner, and it's a pretty stacked roster, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I mean, the Sony BOMBO have got a stacked roster and a team that is going to be pretty good all around, if I'm not to be mistaken. I think maybe having some slight weaknesses on, those high BPM tap maps, like some speed maps, or even just some raw mechanics maps. But honestly, against a team like Team Auge, I wouldn't really want to go into it anyway. I think those are the kind of maps I'd want to get rid of. But, we get to see the ban options coming from the teams here. We're seeing the first ban coming from Team Auge. And honestly, I have a slight feeling they should probably ban into some of those more gimmick maps due to it being a quite mechanical heavy roster.
There's certain ways to approach this match. That is definitely one of them. But considering now we finally have 2 bans unlocked from now on in Resurrection Cup, your bans will matter since it's a split ban phase. You get 1 ban now, 1 ban after 4 picks. So you have to make sure that your first ban is what the opponent is going to be the strongest one on. And it's going to be that awkward Hidden Tsu, more aim-focused Hidden Tsu, as it's been kind of the trend in latest tournaments to have a Hidden Tsu more focused on aim to test the true comfortability of players on AR8.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking this earlier, right? Hidden Twos in 2026 just feel super aim focused. Is this the category of 2026 of Hidden Twos as aim now? Because I feel like I'm seeing it a lot more.
Yeah, definitely at a higher SR, and it's also just a lot more comfortable to see, like, Hidden Tsu more aim focused, because at this high SR, Hidden Tsu that are fully reading gimmick focused are kind of hard to find, and most of them are just super overpulled because they've been around for so long, because they don't really make them like they used to before. And in this case, that's why maybe it's also a reason why we don't see that many Hidden Tsus that are like super gimmicky. But yeah. Moving on, we see the ban for me BOMBO, and I think it's quite obvious. You see tapping players, you ban the tapping map.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of number 2, 240 BPM? Really understandable. And, okay, I think teams are forgetting how the ban rules work, where the second set of bans is a bit later in. You don't get both bans immediately, as far as I'm aware. So you do have time to, figure out what you want to get rid of later.
Yeah,
and I think the discussion going on here is Team Auge want to go into that no mod 5, but the other team are assuming it's a ban when I don't think that's the case.
It's confusing. People tend to forget these rules, but we're here to remind them that it is a split ban phase, and there is 2 bans, but they are split by 4 picks in between, which makes the match situation a lot more interesting because it allows players to not just fully ban a skill set out the get-go, and it also allows for adaptability later on in the match if the match situation changes throughout the first 4 picks, which I am definitely a fan of this type of format, and I think more tournaments should approach it this way.
Hmm. Okay, I mean,
And
from what I'm seeing a no mod 5 pick coming in early from me BOMBO, which honestly, it's a pick I get. It's honestly a really smart pick from my eyes because you have a team that's a bit stronger on a bit of those more gimmicky kind of things, where you don't need to go full on like all the way into crazy weird gimmick, but you can go into something a bit lower approach rate, less aim focused, less mechanics focused, something like this no mod 5, and you can kind of pick into Team Auge against this where. I think they have players that can definitely play it to a certain degree, but I feel like me BOMBO here are opening up with a really strong pick for their side.
Yep, indeed, they are the favorite on gimmick maps, and I think this is the start you want to see. That's why the Hidden Soup was banned by Team Og, and we're looking to ban that on mod 5. Unfortunately, with only 1 ban being allowed, thankfully they did ban another one of the tricky maps in the pool, but no mod 5 is left open, and that's the angle Mibombo is gonna approach by just picking it instantly, not allowing the opponent even to blink or even think twice about it. And yeah, with that being said, we're getting underway with no mod 5. There's gonna be a short gimmick map, but it is a gimmick map nonetheless, a gimmick map that Mibombo wants to win.
Yep, I mean, this map is Urban Constellations. If you've seen quite a few tournaments, especially in recent, you might already recognize this map. But if you don't, I mean, you're looking at what this map kind of is. It's AR8, it's kind of a bit funky, and there's not really too much crazy aim to it. It's just a lot of that control focus. We're seeing Tipikoshin finding a few misses, Bitsy Drax missing earlier, and Org now also finding that miss. Then had a very, very early break, but basically ignorable, and Maxim. So the side of Team Org having no combos for this first quarter, whereas me BOMBO have basically 2-4 combos.
It's the comfortability aspect in this map, and it's looking like they're absolutely unstoppable. We finally see one of the big combos being dropped on Libombo on Ollie, which was holding a 98, really strong accuracy. But yeah, unfortunately that is not the case. They finally found a break into the map, and it's only Martin Usher still left with combo, but I don't think it matters. It's a 400k score gap, and it's 1/3 of the map left with no combos on the side of Team Og to contest.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where I think you just kind of let it happen and you just kind of think about what you want to go to next, right? Team Org clearly not very comfortable with this kind of game. We do see Vin finding that break, but like it doesn't really matter. It's basically 500k score difference. It's still climbing despite the break just because of that accuracy difference. I mean, you do see Drax with 82% accuracy, but you're seeing Fie with 96, just now only dropping below, and Vin with 92, which is leagues and bounds ahead of the other side, but you're just seeing that difference in comfort on these kind of maps. Team Org, I think, wanted to ban this, but with how the ban system works in this tournament, wasn't able to get rid of it that early. But I feel like you could, there are still some maps that are more than comfortable enough for the side of Team Org, but as this map comes to its close, that is going to be the first point on the board for me BOMBO in a pretty convincing fashion.
This is why you ban Gimmick against this team. This team is really experienced on Gimmick map, and it does show from 2 amazing scores from both Martin Ushner and Ollie, as they've managed to absolutely just show us how this map is supposed to be played at its highest level, as they help their team grab themselves a point on the table. And I think this is just going to lead into Team Og picking DT. I don't think there's any angle to look around. I think they're just gonna pick DT tapping, and I think DT2 being the more higher BPM one, I think that's the one they should be looking at, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think 262 tapping, that's probably why they're going to be the most comfortable. But, I mean, there's an ask on the double picks. Maybe having something else in mind is an option here, but I'm intrigued to see what it would be. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm like, maybe they could gamble on the no mod 1 later on if they want to, because it does start off with a bit more of a tapping focus on the map, but it does go into aim quite quickly. But nope, they are convinced, and they are, immediately going into that DT2. AR 10.3, 262.5 BPM. Short map as well.
Yup, most of the DTs are pretty short, except that DT3. That DT3 being so stamina focused, it's actually quite long, and it feels eternal. And I think them asking if they want, if they have a choice of double picks, if they are allowed to, I think it's gonna be a DT2 free pick here from Team Auge when they have their next opportunity on, because I just feel like it's pretty simple. You're really good on tapping. You might as well pick as much tapping as you can before they ban it out, which leads me to believe the next ban is gonna be free mod free from the side of BOMBO. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. There's still a lot of to be played until we get to the next ban phase, and that all starts with this DT2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of, players I could guesstimate to be on the rosters, right? And for Team Auge, I'm fully expecting Maxime to be in here. Very comfortable tapping player overall, maybe even a bit comfortable on this BPM. I'm not entirely sure on that. Of course, expecting Krishina to be in here as well, a very, very well-recognized tapping player. And, he's climbed the rankings quite a far bit due to the ability in tapping. And the third player as well, I'm kind of intrigued to see who they bring out for Team Auge.
They have choices, and I just think it's gonna come down to individual performances, because you do have two talented players on tapping, which is obviously Maxim and Krishina. Both Russian players are quite amazing at this tapping skill set, and they will show us. Same situation as the Mod 5, where BOMBO showed us really good performances from Oli and Martin Yushner. This is going to be the same case for Krishina and Maxim on this DT2, where he's going to absolutely show a masterclass on tapping. And I'm more curious to see, as you mentioned, who's going to be their filler player. I say filler, they're probably going to perform also really well, because this map is quite accessible, even being 262 BPM, because it is tapping with a bit of aim, but it's still really high BPM tapping.
Yeah, and for the side of BOMBO, we're seeing Dryax, we're seeing Fie, also known as Ole, and we're seeing Martin Yuchner, also known as Vin. For the side of Team Auge, we're seeing Freak Master, who I don't know the name change of, Maxim and Krishina. So overall, pretty solid rosters to be seen. And early in, it's actually going to be a score advantage to the side of BOMBO, as the map does get through its starts. You did see 2 breaks inside of Freak Master and Maxim, but Krishina is the one to be holding that combo right now.
Yep, indeed. Freak Master is the name change of Eiki Onizuka, so that's the name change. Remember for the rest of the match, but yeah, so far so good for Team Auge. They obviously have only 1 FC left on the side of Krishina, but on the other side, BOMBO is absolutely having a great time with 2 FCs, now only 1, as Martin and Dryax actually dropped all FCs, so there's no FCs on the side of BOMBO. I mentioned it, I blinked and I missed every single combo on the side of BOMBO. They just have no combo going into this section, with Maxim holding a bit of combo and Krishina still holding the FC, as you would expect from them to. It's now all in the favor of Team Auge.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Freak Master build up a decent recovery combo, got to that 16,600 combo, did find the break. Krishina now also finding the break coming towards this last quarter, but there's no utterly terrifying combos on the side of BOMBO. I mean, you have Vin crossing 300 combo, but doesn't have the accuracy to try and keep up. It's 300k score difference between the two teams, and the accuracies on the side of Team Auge is just overall looking a lot stronger. Krishina sitting at basically 97.7, closing into at 97.8. You see, Onizuka being the lowest actually of 93, but it's not even a problem, and Maxime is also at 96%. The score difference was taking a bit of a hit, especially with the combo that Dryax is building up, but the map comes towards its finish, and it's a score difference of 287k. Another dominant point on the board, but going the other way to Team Auge. Both first picks so far have been a pretty dominant performance from both teams.
It has been a pretty dominant performance from both of the teams, but where the previous map was dominated by 2, this one is dominated by 1, and it is the rank 1 player, Krishina, grabbing the spotlight on this DT2 by grabbing themselves an impressive 743k score on this DT2, definitely being the standout player on this map, allowing their team to grab themselves a point and bringing the match back to 1-1. It's early days, but having the match even level is definitely going to help your confidence a lot, and it's definitely going to push your team as further as it can, as the next map is already being picked. There's no time being wasted, any time being wasted by these teams, and we're going into the hidden free instantly by BOMBO.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it wasn't even a chance to make a guesstimate. Me BOMBO instantly knowing what map they wanted to go into, immediately going in to the No Mod 3. Just no hesitation. No, not No Mod 3, sorry. Hidden 3. No hesitation going into the Hidden Alt map. Honestly, really interesting pick to go into. I mean, it's a bit longer than the 2 maps we've seen so far. It does sit about that 2 minutes, 40 seconds. And it's 145 BPM, so, kind of comfortable in that alt range. But it's got some really, really awkward hidden aim. And especially with the circles that you would see in the current meta of stream maps.
That's definitely a way to see it. But yeah, it's a hidden map. It's a hidden free map, and you expect to see that type of mapping into the hidden free slot. It's more of a question of how these players will actually handle it, since it's not an easy map to say for certain, and it's a map that it takes quite a lot of comfort to get good at, and that comfort is what BOMBO has been showing on a lot of the more trickier maps, which is why I believe they should have a slight advantage going into this. But you can never say for certain. Like, you can always see a surprise. You can always have the slight oddity in the odds, and this might be a chance for Team Auge to make a statement if they feel comfortable on it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that comfort, right? I mean, you have got players inside Me BOMBO that are comfortable on alt maps, are comfortable on hidden as well. I mean, I'd say comfort on hidden to the point where hidden for them might just be the no mod for the rest of the world. Like, that's the level of comfort we're talking here. So, I mean, I'm, again, not too surprised with a pick like this. I think it'll be very interesting to see the performances coming out from them. And also interesting to see if Team Auge are going to be comfortable against them on this kind of map. Because, I mean, so far we've had pick from Me BOMBO, won dominantly by Me BOMBO. Pick from Team Auge, won dominantly by Team Auge. So far, there haven't been maps that have been, a coin flip or crazy competition on the map itself. And I'm wondering at what point in this match that will change up. Maybe this map, maybe not. As you are seeing, Vin, Fie, also known as Ole, and DRX being brought in for the side of Me BOMBO, and then Freak, Maxime, and TB Kochin for the side of Team Auge.
Yep, it's new faces all around. We get to see a bit of every single player in each team, which is nice, because that means that these teams are prepared. These teams are putting everything on the table to win this match. They're not leaving any cards left unanswered, and yeah, unfortunately, they start off with the wrong foot for Team Auge, as Maxime does find an early break, but this map is quite long. Typical Shane also finds a break as well. Martin Hushner found one earlier, but yeah, it's 2 FCs to 1, and it's so far all Me BOMBO.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing that comfort coming in, especially for DRX and Fie. Both of them on pretty high combos here, 480, still building the first quarter of the map done and dusted. Seeing combo breaks all over from the right side. No major combos over there, but DRX and Oli still holding those full combos. Vin now having to start to build that recovery, but also on really respectable accuracy, just below 90, only now finding the drop, and DRX finds the miss as well, but it is traded by the entirety of that right side. Everyone finding that break. Fie did it as well, but, those trades are going to be better off inside of Me BOMBO, Oli has got the 120 combo, almost 100k, does find another miss though, but that score difference is just crossing over 300k.
This is what this map is known for, those core sections that get really tricky on all difficulties of this map, even the lower ones. They all have their certain intricacies and difficulties, and this one is the top lift. This one is the hardest of the bunch, as we get into yet another core section with this space all. DRX is absolutely popping off on them, finally finding a slider break, but was hitting a lot of the space circular all patterns, and he's still demonstrating an incredible amount of consistency on them, as everyone else seems to struggle.
Yeah, I mean, that's 400k score difference now, and that left side just been so comfortable. DRX, finding those accuracies, finding those combos where need be, getting over that 430k score, score themselves. And Fie now about to cross into the 390k, maybe even 400k by the end of the map. This has been a pretty dominant performance from that left side. This is another one of those maps, right, where it's Me BOMBO pick into it, and they are just dominant on it. And I mean, I think this is even more of a difference compared to that first map that we saw with the No Mod 5. Just that hidden comfortability coming out from Me BOMBO. There's just not much you can do to compete against it.
And it's that tournament experience coming in for a lot of these players that I've mentioned earlier before, and it's definitely showing, as both DRX, Oli, and Martin Ushner absolutely destroyed this hidden free make. It made it look easy. And especially the RX on the circular all patterns, he was just absolutely popping off. He was hitting most of them, if not all of them, just missing right after them because of a certain little angular slider that he might not have hit properly. But man, really good performance from BOMBO. And if this is a sign to show, this will definitely go to tiebreaker if it continues like this.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been going back and forth with the maps they're comfortable on so far, and I mean, we made the guesstimate last time from Team Auge where we have a slight feeling that they're just gonna go into that DT3. We have a slight feeling, they're asking if they can do double picks, they were asking, if it was possible for them, and there it is. Immediately going into it, going into the more stamina-focused map, about that 220. It's just something you're not surprised to see. And this is another one of those maps where I feel like, they're gonna be a more comfortable team on this kind of thing. It's also a bit of a longer map. It does sit just below that 3-minute mark. But, yeah, now the real question is, can BOMBO bring in the right players to try and compete on it, to try and bring it a bit closer than, any other map has been so far? That's the question to be seen. But, I mean, this is the chance to, make the match 2-2 before the next set of bans.
Yep, this is definitely one of the longest, if not the longest map. The tapping focus map, full tapping focus map, if you don't count the Fremont free, which is pretty flowy. But yeah, this one is definitely super stamina focused. We did see it in the previous match that was streamed here on Resurrection Cup, which was between if you were here, it was between Rectangle and Nation, and we did see a masterclass there. We maybe get to see another masterclass here, as we have yet again. I have to emphasize this. We have Maxim and Krishna as two amazing DT tapping players and tapping players in general, and we already saw what Typical Shane can also do. So this is just a really good tapping roster that is scary to pick any sort of tapping maps into.
Yeah, I mean, having any maps that are going to be a bit more heavily mechanics focused is not something you really want to run into it against a roster like that. But, with this map being gone and the next ban phase coming in after this, I mean, I don't think they will have that many more chances to keep the tapping maps in, because with, the next ban phase. But until then, they don't have to worry. They just get to focus on this DT3 as the map does soon start. I'm a bit interested to see the performances coming out here. I mean, as you mentioned, right, last time this map was picked, we did get to see a bit of a masterclass. You can't expect the same case to happen because, with it being in a tournament setting, you can't expect the same scores to always be set over and over. But, with the rosters that we're seeing, you could maybe still have that hope in there. We do see Drax, we do see Vin, also known as Mana Yuna, and we do see Oli, also known as Fie, being brought in for the side of BOMBO. And, of course, for the Team Auge, we're seeing Maxim and we're seeing Krishna. The players that you'd probably come to expect to see on a map pick like this. We are seeing a bit more difficulty, though, on the intro of this map compared to every other map we've seen so far. And this time around, we did see a bit of a more comfortable start for the side of BOMBO.
This intro is particularly difficult. This first quarter is where we usually see a lot of players dropping a lot of the accuracies because it's really finger control heavy, and it's quite awkward to hit a lot of these parts and a lot of these little slight tricky finger control section. It definitely shows, as a lot of the players has found breaks and arc drops all across the table. Right now the advantage is in the side of BOMBO, but only because they've been holding a lot of the combo and a lot of the accuracy. That is not the case anymore. That is two big recoveries on the side of Team Auge is Krishna's Maxim, and Auge is trailing them, and now going into the flow aim stamina section is going to be all their territory. This is what they're comfortable on, this is what they're going to be dominating on, and this is what you can expect from them from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, we're closing in towards the near halfway point of the map and seeing those recoveries from Krishna and Maxim, where, both of them are now crossing over that 700 combo. Krishna does find that miss, unfortunately, but it's nothing to be worried about just yet. Maxim does have that 860 combo, has got the accuracy to boot of just under 95%, dropping a bit more there to a lower 94, but looking at that left side, just in Drax and Vin finding those breaks. I believe Fie still on the combo slightly, but not on the accuracy to compete, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, the accuracy is not there. The combo is gone from Auge, and it's only Maxim left with any combo, but there's not a lot of combo on the other side to contest. It's only Oli, and there goes Oli, so that's just Maxim left on the table with any combo, and it's 1k combo plus and counting. And going into the last third, it's just Maxime masterclass. They have been such an experienced tournament player. They've been so great at tapping in the previous tournaments they've played, and they continue to show it here on Resurrection Cup as they have just an incredible score, absolutely carrying this team on this map.
Yeah, I mean, every time we see a new map pick coming in from either side, it just becomes more and more dominant than the last. The Nomod 5 was a pretty dominant win for Side Me BOMBO. The DT2 was such a pretty much a dominant win for Team Auge. The Hidden 3, a bit more dominant for Me BOMBO, and this time around for Team Auge, it is so crazily one-sided. 870k and still building. The score difference coming in from them. This is just going insane. I mean, Maxime, 1800 combo, 96% accuracy. That's just crazy work to see. A 1 million score difference. That's a 1 versus 3.
That is if you talk about carry performance, that is the carry performance. Having nice supporting combo obviously from Christian and Auge definitely helped them even more. But I think that's the biggest score difference we've ever seen on this, at least this weekend. But that's the biggest score difference I've seen this weekend, definitely, for sure. And it comes down from a team performance and a even more dominant performance from Maxime.
Literally 3 misses on the intro and then went, nah, I got this, and just continued to hold combo for the entirety of the map for about, 2 minutes 30 seconds afterwards. And, with those maps all being gone, it's 2-2, and now the new interesting part of the match starts where the ban phase is coming back. 1 more ban for each side, starting off with Team Auge getting a first ban, I believe. Unless it's... Oh, no, sorry. Actually, the ban coming from the other... Okay, no, hold on. My brain's shut down a small bit. Okay, his Team Auge getting the ban. They just tried to shoot early.
Yeah,
Wait, no, I'm confused?
I mean, I don't think it matters, the order. It kind of matters, but they just want that free mod free out of here. They don't want any more flowing. They don't want any more tapping. They've had enough. They've lost 2 tapping maps, and they're like, okay, chat, I think it's time to get that free mod free off the table. I don't want to see it. I don't even want to think about it. And they jumped the gun a bit, but it's fine because it is banned. It does show up as banned here on the overlay, and it will be banned in the actual match. But we are waiting for the more important ban, the ban from Team Auge, because they have a lot of maps on the on their table that could prove quite tricky, and they will opt to ban out that precision map. So no precision for Me BOMBO, as they will have to find something else to mechanically outclass Team Auge.
Yeah, I mean, Team Auge going immediately with the Hard Rock 2 ban. They don't want to go into it. They don't want to play into position, not against a roster like that, and also it's a pretty safe ban to go into. Hadn't been picked yet, and don't want to risk it getting picked as well. Then, you go to the other side, Me BOMBO banning the free mod 3. They immediately went into it, no hesitation. Not even, when it wasn't even their turn to ban, they wanted it gone. And, I don't blame them either, as you mentioned, right? It's a bit more of that tapping or mechanics-focused map. Something that Team Auge have been pretty scary on, so just don't want to risk it again, so... Overall, a pretty solid ban to go into, and they immediately go into the free mod 4 as their first pick in the second half of the map.
Yeah, it only makes sense they go into a more mechanical focused pick. This was a Hidden 3. I forgot the name of the tournament. I said it last time, but let me just Hedgehop Madness Quarterfinals Hidden 3. This time here is picked as a free mod, and it definitely helps. The circle size is quite friendly for HR. It's 3.8 with HR, so HR players will only have to focus on the difficulty of the actual mechanics rather than the difficulty of the circle size, which will probably help a lot of the teams to overmod with HR as much as possible. They do have to have that one hidden mandatory, so we'll see who's the sacrificial lamb on hidden on the side of Team Auge if they don't feel more comfortable with hidden than HR, which should be the case for most of these players.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the hidden onlys, I feel like for Me BOMBO, we're seeing probably a FIA hidden only here. It's what my guesstimate would be. Yeah, for Team Auge, I mean, I don't really know. I feel like they have some players that can, play hidden on the case they're forced to, but player that would willingly play hidden? I mean, I'm not too knowledgeable on players like Freakmaster or TP Koshin or Auge, sadly, but I don't think those players would want to just run straight into Hidden on their own.
Maybe not. We maybe even see a overmod, a hidden HR from Maxime. That could be a possibility. There's a lot of things on the table. If one thing's certain, we'll definitely see more HRs than hiddens, and I can tell you that for a fact.
Well, it'll be interesting to see that roster line up with the mod combinations. Oh, we're seeing something a bit different actually coming in. Two different strategies from either side. We are seeing FA and DRX being brought in with the hidden only for the side of BOMBO, with Martin Yugna, also known as Vin, bringing in the hard rock only. Then for the other side of Team Auge, we're seeing Freakmaster with the hidden only, and then Krashina and Maxim with the hard rock only. Pretty solid ideas, but different ideologies behind the mod picks here. And I mean, early in, the only combo remaining is going to be FA on this intro with a pretty crisp accuracy, but does unfortunately break right before the spinner.
Yeah, unfortunately, just before the spinner, but they are holding quite a big amount of consistency over the other team, as DRX and Martin are there to pick up the pieces that Ollie left. And you just look on the other side, and it's only Maxime on the HR providing any sort of contention into this map, as nobody else seems to be holding any sort of combo. Ringmaster and Krishna are both struggling respectively. Krishna is recovering slight a bit amount of combo, but Maxim is still the biggest combo left in the lobby. Martin is there to hold off the absolute just onslaught that Team Auge is putting into this section of the map, but there's still so much to do, and it's only a third left.
There's a third of the map remaining, and it's Maxime versus Vin at this point, right? Both of them over that 400 combo mark. Maxime at the 500, but Vin having the accuracy to boot. Maybe more than enough to keep it in their favor. Seeing Freakmaster unfortunately does find the break, but it is going to be traded out by Martin Yugno, which is a much stronger trade for the team of Team Auge. It's 35k score difference, and it's going to decline quickly, but will it decline in time for the map to be over? It's less than 12k now. It's closing quickly. Do you see the miss coming from Freakmaster? But Krishna has got 500 combo as well, with accuracy to be found. It does flip over just before the closing moments of the map, but will it stay in their favor? You do see the accuracy and combo from FA and DRX, but I don't think that's going to be enough to keep it in their favor, as the map does come to its close, and it's going to be 25k score advantage to the side of Team Auge. The first breakpoint of the match in an S rank from Maxime. That score is disgustingly strong.
Maxime is absolutely destroying this. Absolutely, they're a machine. You are a machine right now. You can't be telling me that's a human score right here. That's only 2 slider breaks with HR on a map of this difficulty. They're definitely showing how HR is played on a map like this, and definitely a well-deserved breakpoint for Team Auge, as now they have a lot of advantage. Unfortunately, the map pool is not in their favor, but they do have the advantage of their own pick coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I think Maxime right now is just looking to go for that MVP of the match, right? I mean, look at that DT2 performance, and then look at that 3mod 4 performance. They've just been going absolutely ham, and then every other map they've been on, they have pulled up a very competitive score. But, you know, now it's time for Team Auge's pick. They are looking to try and keep that momentum going, looking to try and keep the lead in their favor, because if they give up a breakpoint here, that last map would have been for Nout. But let's see what they want to go into here. I mean, there's still quite a few maps on the board available to them, right? I mean, nothing that's as crazy mechanical as the DT3 or DT2. But, you know, there are still quite a few maps in there that could maybe throw a bit of a curveball that they might want to go into.
Indeed, there's not a lot of super comfortable picks as we've seen before for the side of Team Auge, because a lot of the maps are mostly the same left here on out, so it's about what you want to pick and you think you can do well on. And I personally say that BT1 could be a shout, but I think it's quite 50-50 considering they have on the other side they have DRX, Martin, and Ollie. So yeah, that's gonna be a sight to see who performs better on this DT1.
Yeah, honestly, a pretty interesting pick. I was more leaning towards them maybe picking into No Mod 4 as a bit of a gamble. I mean, they won the breakpoint on 3mod 4, which was a pretty tech-heavy map. Going into No Mod 4, another tech-heavy map could have been maybe a possible play for them, but they just continued to go down the line of DTs. They went DT2, they went DT3, now they're going DT1. I mean, just overall a solid ideology coming in from them. You know, they have a roster that is going to be very comfortable on DT. They just might as well stick to what they're comfortable with. And honestly, I'm yeah, as you mentioned, right, 50-50 on this, right? There are players on BOMBO that are going to be more than comfortable enough on DT aim. And Team Auge, I mean, they've been a heavy mechanics roster, heavy tapping roster, but when your tapping is cut short, what do you want to go into here? And I think they're just going to go down DT aim, which is the closest thing they could maybe have where they can keep a bit of tapping in there, but this map doesn't really include that.
Yeah, there's not that much tapping. It is a DT1 slot. You do expect to see the aim. You do expect to see the absolute insane patterns of aim at this high amount of BPM. It's only 240, but 240 aim is definitely a lot harder than 240 tapping, especially for a team like Auge. It could come down to who's the most comfortable, most consistent team on the day, and it could be a chance for BOMBO to grab themselves a breakpoint of their own if they perform quite well.
Yeah, well, that's the question we need to see now, because they are ready. Players getting in. BOMBO, a team that I would argue is going to be a bit stronger on the aim, but, you know, I also would have said they were stronger on, you know, a bit of a tech-focused map with free mod. But, you know, Team Auge can throw a bit of a spanner in the works, and looking to do that again here is the DT1. 2 minutes, 21 seconds, 240 BPM aim, 7.4 stars. This map does have quite a decent bit of spacing in the aim later in, but it's just testing that overall raw aim consistency all the way through as the map gets into its proper starts.
This is about as standard as a DT map will ever get, and all the players should be quite accustomed. And I'm definitely looking on the bottom left. It's DRX. It's the well-known Slovakian player who has quite a lot of DT skill, and people sometimes just tend to underestimate what their actual potential is on DT skill, and I personally think they're quite talented. Maxim is the first one to drop here, but you look at BOMBO and it's only Martin that finally finds a break, but they get traded by Auge, so it's 2 FCs versus 1, and that's the situation we've been talking about. It could be really 50-50 with only Krishina, DRX, and DX holding any sort of combos going into this section. DRX finally finding a drop, but it's just slight advantage to BOMBO.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's looking pretty comfortable from both sides. The score difference isn't anything crazy. It's only 20k halfway through the map, and with DT, that 20k score difference can disappear in the snap of your fingers, but overall, I mean, we're seeing Krishina with the full combo 99, we're seeing Dryax with the full combo 97, a bit lower accuracy than maybe hoped for, and that score difference is going to start to make a small bit of a difference, but never mind, it's actually swinging more the other way. Do you see a breakpoint from Maxime and Vin? The score difference not to make a major difference. See, I was making a bit of a recovery here, 360 combo as Dryax does find the miss. The score difference flips over, and DRX also now finding a miss, which is just going to give Krishina a complete clear running. You do see Auge finding the miss, but there's no one to compete with that main score on the board right now from Team Auge. 98% accuracy, 700k, still holding on to the full combo, I believe, but does unfortunately find the break, but they got a 150k score buffer in this last quarter.
That's just enough, and that will be enough to make them cross the finish line ahead of BOMBO. BOMBO just doesn't have any combos on their side, and it doesn't matter how much they find misses. Team Auge has done enough. Krishina has held the line just enough for their team to grab themselves that comfortable advantage, and unfortunately for BOMBO, they crumbled when they needed to focus the most. GX dropped the FC at the worst possible time when Krishina was still holding, and that was just enough for them to have themselves another point on the table, pushing themselves closer to match point.
Yeah, I mean, a very insane score coming from Krishina, right? A 1 miss on DT1, a score that I don't think many players would have expected coming out from them, but I think a score they should be more than happy with. I mean, 844k on a map like that, you know, still a bit nuts to go into, and especially a score that is going to be, you know, guaranteeing your team that point on the board, putting you 1 point above, you know, your enemy team, even if they get that breakpoint. Does give them that momentum now. They're 2 points ahead, and they can make a lot work from this position. They can lose a point now and not be in the danger zone.
They have to focus. This is do or die for them. They lose this pick and they put themselves at pretty much the mercy of Team Auge, as they will have all the weapons in their arsenal to pick what they're most known for. They'll pick a pick that will absolutely destroy all hopes for BOMBO. But until then, we get these absolute madness of a hidden one, the most awkward hidden map that you will ever possibly see. They're gonna test Team's Auge overall comfort on hidden. They won before on hidden, but can they do it again?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're looking for here. The hidden one, as mentioned, right? Bit of an aim-focused hidden. What you come to expect in this category of maps. And when I was looking through this map, the first thought that came to mind was 2018 Farm, but if you remove Farm out of the equation. This map is just littered with constant 1-2s all the way around, and then some small sections here and there that, you know, throw a different type of map at you for a split second, and then go back to the 1-2 aim. Honestly, I'm pretty intrigued to see the performance coming out here. I mean, as spoken with the Hidden 3, right, you have players like DRX and FIA who are just really comfortable at Hidden. FIA very much so, you know, comfortable at Hidden to the point where it's like another state to them. It's just a part of their brain that just recognizes Hidden, and they just play it like it's any other mod combination, and it just nothing changes. And, you know, we're seeing from the side of Team Auge that, you know, they haven't been so comfortable on the Hidden specific maps, but no, maybe able to throw a bit of difference here with it being more aim-focused rather than an alt map.
Yep, and it's definitely gonna all be in overall comfort. These players have shown that comfort-wise, on Hidden, they're amazing. So it's gonna be all in Auge's ballpark to play, because we haven't really seen them on an awkward aim map like this. We've seen them perform on the Hidden Free, but the Hidden Free was just chaos and absolute, just alt madness, to say the least. This one is a bit different. This one may be a bit more lenient, but it's still about as awkward as you can have it for a Hidden one as we get underway with it.
Yep, the map gets the start. Seeing, of course, DRX and FIA and Vin for the side of BOMBO. Seeing the Team Auge, we're seeing Krishina, Maxim, and TV Koshin once again. Overall, pretty solid roster there. You know, a team that teams we kind of expected for this. I mean, we saw Krishina with the last A map, did put up a bit of a star performance this time around, did find that early break, but nothing to put themselves in the danger zone. Getting towards the first quarter, that being done and dusted. Seeing DRX and Vin both with the larger combos on the board, but FIA with the accuracy more than anything else compared to anyone else.
Yep, it's just that overall comfort is above anything else in this lobby. They find a break, but it's a lot of combos on the side of BOMBO. It's a lot of score difference in their favor as well. It's starting to crumble slowly as Martin also finds a break, but on the other side, it's only Maxim and Krishina holding, and it is the combo of DRX still maintaining the score lead in their favor, but not for long if it continues like this, especially with that break from Martin only pushing the score lead more in favor of Team Auge.
Yeah, but Krishina does trade it out. That score difference isn't even making too much of a major difference now. Sitting about 40k. And oh, but with that miss coming in from DRX, that score difference is going to completely decline. It's going to disappear, but the two misses from Krishina and Koshin is going to keep it just barely in favor of BOMBO. Every time that score difference closes down to less than 1,000, both of them just find that one miss. Do see FIA with the recovery, you know, almost 400 combo now, still on that 99% accuracy. Vin, 200 combo, but FIA does find the break, and Maxime only now just trades it, keeping that score difference in 40k as the map comes to its closer. It was so close, that could have gone either way then. It got moments where there were multiple times the score difference under 1,000, but it was just the timing of those misses keeping it barely within favor for the side of BOMBO, getting themselves a point on the board that they were looking for, and making the match 3-4.
Single carry performances. Every single map, I feel like we just keep on seeing a person pop off above the rest, and Maxim has been doing this for a lot of maps now, and it continues to do so as they do get a really good performance so far. But I do see the point actually going to the side of BOMBO. In the end, doing just enough to grab themselves the point on the Hidden one, just by a small margin. But Maxim was just there. Maxim was so there. It was so close.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost enough to bring it over, but, you know, overall that team performance from BOMBO mixed in with the accuracy from FIA did keep it in their favor just enough. But, you know, Team Auge now have the chance to get a pick on the board here, trying to keep their momentum in their favor, looking to try and space out the match a bit further than before. And, you know, with the maps remaining in the list, I'm not entirely sure on what they want to go into here. I mean, they overall have a roster that is a bit more comfortable on aim than maybe initially expected. So the No Mod 1 now definitely possibly on the table for them, but in actuality, they're going to be going for the No Mod 3. A very interesting map, to say the least.
It is the custom. It is the three-letter word I shall not dare pronounce, but it is one of our originals, well, not originals, custom maps for Resurrection Cup 2026. We have Chase Hycon's job application map by Ryuit. It's a really hard mechanical snap aim map with definitely a lot of it has a bit of snap all, but it's mostly aim focused. Snap aim, it's just mechanically aim difficult. That's all I can say. And it's interesting to see that it comes from Team Auge. They have I think they're carrying the confidence from the DT1 going into this. I was almost expecting to see a DT4 just to have the full DT slot picked by one singular team in a row. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Maybe next time.
Honestly, I expected that as well.
Maybe next time, but yeah, No Mod 3 is a shout, but you have to be careful with this map. It's another 50-50 map that could come down to a singular carry performance, but we have seen so far carry performances is what Team Auge is good at, what these both teams are good at, because when a singular player shines, it could change the whole outcome of this map, and I think it might come down to it again here at No Mod 3.
Yeah, I mean, seeing how this map goes, I mean, there are some funny sliders in this map that I'm excited to see. The specific sliders 1 minute 23 in, I believe, and then the slider at the very ending. I'm excited to see. There's some good fun parts of this map that is just a bit comical, but you know, we'll get there when we get there. I believe the players are getting ready. I believe, in fact, they are ready. And let's see how the No Mod 3 plays out. A pretty interesting map, to say the least. Both map and song of job application. I like the diff name is Trigger Warning.
I mean, it is the three-letter word I shall not dare pronounce again. I pronounce it one for the title purposes. I shall not dare pronounce the three-letter word that scares every Osu player senseless. But
employment.
anything but that. But anyways, we get underway with the No Mod 3, and you already see what type of map this is gonna be. It's gonna be tricky, it's mechanical, it's snappy, and it is just absolute chaos as we see the first breaks coming in from Freakmaster.
Yeah, I mean, early break coming in, but, you know, it is a shorter map. It does say 1 minute 45, so you don't want to have a lot of those later breaks, but these two early breaks coming in from Freak, not too concerning just yet, as long as they are going to get traded out later in. First quarter of the map done and dusted. Still seeing 5 FCs on the board. 3 coming in from BOMBO, and Maxime and Krishina also still holding on. But overall, that accuracy game does be sitting on that left side pretty comfortably. Do see Fie breaking the SS with a slider break. Vin as well going down, but Krishina there to trade it. It is 2 misses to 1, but Freakmaster's now on that recovery, and it's DRX versus Maxime once again. A battle we've seen before. DRX with the higher accuracy. Halfway through the map, done and dusted. 173k score difference in the favor of BOMBO. Looking to try and get a breakpoint on their side as that comes towards its last third.
This is the last third. It's going to be the most intensive third we've ever seen. Their lead is in the side of BOMBO. Will continue to break from Martin. It might come down to a last-minute switch. Krishina does manage to soften the blow for BOMBO a bit. All he is there to recover, and the RX is still holding the FC alongside Maxime, matching themselves perfectly one to another. There goes Maxime. There goes the hopes. There goes the combo. There goes the FC, and it might just be over. It's probably over. Freakmaster just doesn't have enough combo. There's not enough in contention. And DRX is looking at the FC. This No Mod 3. Will they manage to do it? Gets a break on the smallest slider and on the 3-letter word slider.
Yeah, I mean, just an overall very comfortable point on the board for the side of BOMBO. Going to that No Mod 3 wasn't even their pick, but they wanted to get that break point on the board. Getting revenge for the earlier 3 Mod 4. And overall, a really considerably insane score coming in from DRX. You know, almost 900k on that map. Only finding breaks towards the very, very ending. Hit the $ sliders, then hit, you know, some of the more awkward parts, and only found a break, I believe, on the job slider going the other way than expected. Overall, still an insane performance. Maxime trying to keep the bleeding reasonable, but unfortunately just wasn't enough. Brings them out 4-4, back to an equalized point on the board, and now back to BOMBO's pick.
Maxime at this point is just farming match costs. but unfortunately it was just a mispick. I didn't think Nomad Free was a good choice, and it ended up proving true. Nomad Free being way too mechanical for the side of Team Auge, and exactly in the ballpark for me BOMBO, where they just showed us why they are such an like impressive team in tournaments to play against. Like there's a lot of players that don't know the true potential of DRX, and he's showing them now. DRX is such a talented player. This is why he's top 100, and this is why he's #1 in Slovakia. He has so much potential, and he has so much to prove, and he's proving all of them right now.
I'm wondering what options they want to go into here. I mean,
it's
my brain has turned off a small bit. Oh,
Fremont makes sense. It's the only gimmicky map left in the pool. It's the Dada anti-mod, and it's gonna prove challenging for some players on Team Auge, but it might just be enough for me BOMBO to grab themselves a point and push this to match point in their favor, opening the possibility for a tiebreaker. But before I mention that, it is to mention that, oh my god, this match has been so good so far. These players have been trading left, right, and center, everything, picks, everything. This has been such an entertaining match so far.
Yeah, I mean, everything going a bit back and forth, dominant picks, you know, break points. You had everything you kind of want in a match like this, and scores coming out from players that you wouldn't expect them to set. And then, you know, players having outright star performances, but you know, now going into the free mod 2, as you mentioned, right, the full-on anti-mod data map, really awkward aim, really awkward reading, and just awkward kind of everything mixed in with the fact that, you know, you're running hidden or hard rock, so you either got low approach rate or really small circles, or if you're a psycho, you can run both and just see how it goes. But, you know, it'd just be an interesting choice to see the mod combinations you see, because, you know, with the last free mod we saw, we did see, you know, me BOMBO opting in for the more hidden focus roster with Team Auge operating on the more hard rock focus roster, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the same case scenario here.
There could also be the fourth more option, and you like listening to your voices inside your head and you pick easy, or fifth option, you pick easy hidden and you actually see the voices. But in that case, it'll be actually insane. I don't think any of the players here are that good at easy. There are some players that are good at easy, but I don't think they're at that level where they would feel more comfortable playing this map with easy than with hidden or hard rock. So I don't think we'll be seeing any surprises here. And although I would like to see it, I think it'll be quite funny. It may be.
I mean, I've seen FA run Flashlight in a free mod tournament, so you know,
maybe
anything is on the board at this point. I have seen that
Flashlight,
happen
I'll scream. If I see Flashlight, I'll scream.
I don't think that'll happen here. But I have seen it happen before.
Ekora and Yuk Spy, please. I need your power.
Oh, we might be seeing an easy.
Oh, please let it be. Please let it be. Please let me see the. God damn it. Not to be, but it is the mod combo that we've seen on the previous no mod. 2 HR versus 2 hiddens, and the other one to fill the other mod left. And yeah, you do expect to see me BOMBO on double hidden. They are the better gimmick overall. While on the other side, HR is just what their skill sets is. They are good at high AR. They're gonna pick something that helps them play high AR.
Yeah, even if they are punished with the slightly smaller circle size, I think they'll just be getting used to it and adjust to it quicker. Then hopefully that lower approach rate side of things. Do see the scores being pretty balanced out. We do see Vin and FA having those early breaks on Sadami BOMBO, and Maxime and Tibikoshin with the early breaks on Team Auge. We've seen DRX versus Crashino here. 99.66% accuracy on DRX, and of course the 99 almost from Crashino overall. Looking pretty back and forth between them. But you see the first break coming in from DRX out of those two. The score difference now hopefully starting to be, you know, having a dent made into it as the first quarter of the map is done and dusted. Then the only player on Sadami BOMBO to be holding that combo now.
Yup, it is Krishna, the only FC left in the lobby, and they are still holding after that really tricky little burst there. They managed to hit them quite perfectly. Those triples did not prove that much of a challenge, and they're absolutely destroying this free monster so far. Only Martin has any sort of combo chasing down Krishina so far, because on the side of Team Auge, there's just no supporting combo. There goes Krishina, there goes all of their combos, breaking one after another, but Martin follows right after, and now it's back to DRX, back to the player that has been proving that they are an amazing tournament player in this match so far. On the hidden and on the Nomad, they've been absolutely destroying every single map, and this Fremont is no exception, as they are now the only combo left standing.
Yeah, I mean, getting towards the last quarter of the map, DRX 300 combo unfortunately does find the break. In fact, it's an entire team break on the side of BOMBO, but there's no combos on the team of Team Auge to capitalize on either. It's an entire lobby break coming in, which is not what you want to see for the team of Team Auge, right? They're 94k score difference behind, and there's just no way for them to capitalize on the breaks from that left side. There's nothing for them to work with here. The score difference declining in a very small amount, and it just balances back out. And coming towards this ending, I think it's safe to say that this map is going towards the favor of BOMBO, putting this match to match point. And yeah, overall, just a pretty comfortable performance inside of BOMBO. The score difference is closing towards the ending, but there's nowhere near enough time for that to close 80k. Even with the star performance coming in from Krishina on the side of Team Auge, getting, in fact, the top scorer of the lobby on an anti-mod map. But, you know, just unfortunately isn't enough to, you know, overtake the entirety of BOMBO's team efforts there. Do go towards Team Auge's pick. It is 5-4. This is their chance to either have the game end now or to bring themselves towards that tiebreaker again, like they saw last week.
It's absolute insanity. It is just, yeah. I have nothing to say. This is the performance they need, and this is what they needed on this Fremont too. They've done enough. They were constantly matching what Team Auge were doing, and that is exactly what they needed, and they got the performance they wanted. Maybe not the perfect performance from them. I think both of the teams could have done a lot better, but for Team BOMBO, who has picked this Fremont too, is exactly what they wanted. The outcome they needed, match point for them going into Team Auge's pick. They don't have a lot of maps left, and the maps left are all quite tricky. We have Nomad 1, the other custom map in this tournament pool, with the absolute grueling aim, to say the least. We have the slider aim of Nomad 4, the OWC map. That's definitely one of my favorites in this pool. And then there's just a lot of HR maps left. There's the HR1, there's the HR3, DT4 is still on the table, and maybe just another free mod to just close it off with the free mod 1. But a lot of it's super mechanical, and it could just play into BOMBO's favor.
Yeah, but instead, they're actually going to be opting in towards the Nomad 1. Now, this was something I had predicted. Basically, at the start of the match is a late option for them on the board, right? The first half of this map being a bit flow and lower BPM tapping focused. Then, you know, it moves into a bit of an alt map, and then towards the last third of the map does become a bit more of an aim-focused map. Does have those three, I guess, corresponding moments of the map that do have those changes in there. And looking like it is the final pick on the board. This is now either the chance for BOMBO to close this match out and just win without risk, or the chance for Team Auge to close this map out and take them to tiebreaker. That is the option here. And so far, I couldn't even make a guesstimate from how it's been, because both teams have been going pretty much back and forth and have been winning on points that, you know, they're either really comfortable on, or maps that you maybe expect on paper the other team to win, but still bring it out either way. I could not make a guesstimate on this map, especially not at this point in the match.
Yep, it's definitely just a really, really difficult map to just have as the last, because with all nerves and all the pressure on the line, going into Nomad 1, the last pick, is definitely difficult to say the least. But yeah, mapped by Oxy, remix also done by Oxy as well, and yeah, just a nice custom map overall to end the picks of this match. Hopefully not end the match. Hopefully Team Auge manages to push through all the challenges and difficulties that this map might bring and get the match to tiebreaker, but only time will tell. If the nerves are too much for them, if the consistency is not there, or if the consistency is there and they can finally push another match to tiebreaker in losers bracket after the previous week managing to win tiebreaker and go through in the losers bracket to meet BOMBO, will they be able to replicate it and do it again? Only time will tell. It's gonna be 3 minutes and 4 seconds of absolute torture, but it's gonna be the most fun torture we've ever seen here at Resurrection Cup. We're underway with Nomad 1.
Yeah. Getting towards the early point of the map, we are going to be seeing a lot more of that tapping bit there. Also, a good bit of that flow aim. Do see early breaks coming in from Maxime, Krishina, and Freakmaster. Unfortunate early triple break from the side of Team Auge with no trades on that left side, but it's a bit of a longer map, and we do see that trade coming in from Vin now. This is the all or nothing from Team Auge. This is what they need to get on the board if they want to continue their fighting chance in this tournament. 5k score advantage early into the side of BOMBO. And they are looking just to build those combos throughout this map. Freakmaster and Fie do trade each other out. Maxime, Freakmaster also going down again. The only full combo really on the board coming in from DRX right now, but does suffer on the accuracy side of things.
Why is it always me? I think that might be one of the questions the artists might be asking themselves right now, as they're yet again the player to look at. All of the table, actually all the players find a break except Maxime. Maxime's the only one left, but Maxime also finds a break before this long slider. So there's just no combos on the table going up after this first. So it's gonna be all to play for.
Yep. Oh, that's such a tragic slider break from Maxime. That's not what you want to see. But there's no combos on the board. The score difference less than 1,000 between these teams. Just flicking left and right with every difference in score. And now we get to the point where the map does change up a small bit. We went from flow aim, now we're going into a bit more of that ult-focused flow aim, rather than a bit more of that, normal stream flow aim. Seeing a lot more of those misses coming in, a little bit less of that comfort, but DRX, once again, the lead performer for the side of BOMBO, does find that break, but does get them that 15k score difference. Maxime, Freakmaster there, trying to build those combos, trying to compete against Vin right now. 10k advantage. Now the other side for a possible, for the last pick of the match. This has been a very tense one already as we're getting towards the last third of the map and seeing a lot more of those ult patterns. It's 20k advantage for some of Team Auge and still building.
It's definitely really close. It's two big combos on the side of Team. Oh, there's a slider breaker from Maxime, so it's only one. It's Martin versus Freakmaster right now. The only two big combos left in the lobby, and any break from Freakmaster will spell disaster. They have to hold, they have to maintain the advantage Team Auge has been building throughout that section of the map, and it's only one quarter that's gonna separate them from tiebreaker or elimination. It's all to play for right now, and it's not looking likely. There's so much combo on the side of BOMBO, and they might just have all the comfortness in the world to push this through, and I think it might just be over.
I wouldn't say it's over just yet. It's less than 20k score difference, and the accuracy might not be there for Freakmaster, but the combo definitely is. We do see Fie go down. Vin still holding the combo, still the last bastion of that team, but it's 9k score difference. The map's coming towards its ending, but the aim will not be giving up. It's 6k score difference, but Freakmaster goes down, and I think now that is the door being closed and shut. Just completely locked out of that chance of tiebreaker. Vin bringing out a finale clutch for that side. DRX did hold so comfortably for that first half, but it came to that second half, and Vin was the bastion for their team, taking that star moment that they needed, closing it out with a phenomenal performance of 31k score difference, one of the closer maps that we've seen yet. And even though we don't get to see tiebreaker, I think that map was close as it needed to be to a tiebreaker for that kind of performances from those teams. Very well performed from both sides overall this entire match, and it is going to be BOMBO that are winning this match and get to continue towards the next bracket. Still in the losers bracket, unfortunately, but unfortunately for the side of Team Auge, I believe that is them getting eliminated completely, despite their valiant efforts during this match.
Absolute incredible performance from all the players on the side of Team Auge, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. The monster of TRX is just absolutely incredible, and I do have to wrap this up really quickly because we do have a match on the B stream that I do have to cast. So yeah, BOMBO will push on through the losers bracket. They will continue their journey. They will continue to prove that they are not the underdogs. They are the favorites going into these, and yeah, just an incredible performance from them that we'll probably see more of in the future. But yeah, that has been all from me. I've been Bizonaro. I've been joined by Torva. Kiwi was our streamer. Thank you for watching, and do join the B stream as we have another match happening. Oh, well, it's gonna start on A stream. It's right now live on B, but it's gonna start on A stream in just a second. So do stay tuned for that, as it's gonna begin shortly. Thank you for watching and see you in literally a second.